and welcome to your new favorite paranormal podcast. I am your host, Kevin Leonard, and with me, as always, my paranormal partner in crime, Corey Beam. How you doing, Corey?
Doing pretty good. Good. Yeah, there you go. Starting to have
Welcome
a
back,
stroke.
Corey.
Yeah, already having a stroke. Not doing good. Happy to be back. Sad I missed episode 25, but it's also big happy anniversary, 1 year to the Into the Paranormal podcast. Um, so that's pretty cool that we've been doing this for a year and we've seen some growth, and I know we got a lot of plans coming up for the next year. So really looking forward to all that.
Yeah, yeah. We've been talking about some plans. We got a lot of stuff that we're working on, and we'll be able to announce that and let you guys know, and hopefully in the very near future. But until then, just keep your eyes peeled and follow our social media, and you will be informed as soon as we can tell you. Um,
Yeah, and including speaking of social media, I know these podcasts will now be on the Kappa YouTube. Um, Also, I'm gonna discontinue just because it makes sense. We're gonna go ahead and discontinue the Into the Paranormal Facebook, and we're gonna just wrap everything into the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association's Facebook. It'll be easier to have everything in one place. Post about the podcast will happen there, just so they're not happening in six different places, and it'll just be easier. Um, there.
yeah.
Uh, you'll be able to still keep up with everything into the paranormal, and there'll be a lot more happening as time goes on too. So
Yep. Oh yeah. And we got a lot planned for Into the Paranormal, the Kappa channel, our adventures. So be sure to follow everything Coastal Atlanta Paranormal Association, everything Kappa related. Follow me and Corey because our adventures are nowhere near ending. We're only just beginning. Speaking of adventures, Tracy and I spoke about it. On the last episode, but Beta Quest was just a couple of weeks ago, and that was pretty fun.
yeah, it was. I think everyone had a good time. Definitely a different kind of atmosphere for us than our
Mhm.
usual fare, but yeah, we had an absolutely great time. Um, Being able to go there and kind of commingle with some people as well. Definitely had a great time, and hopefully raised a good amount of money for their beta team, and yeah, all around really fun day, and
Mhm.
met some cool people once again. So
Yeah. And if you would like Kappa to be featured at your location for an event, uh, don't hesitate to email us, reach out to info@kappaparanormal.com, and we can definitely set something up. We love doing these type of events, regardless if it's a lecture, presentation, or a convention. Um, Looking forward to doing more of these. It's definitely been a blast this past year going to these different locations and meeting new people, like Corey said. So yeah, info@kappaparanormal.com, and we'll hopefully see you there. Um, so Corey, what are we talking about today?
well, you actually just sent me something because we do this stuff on the fly, folks. We don't know what we're doing most of the time,
Pulling
but
back the curtain a little bit.
yeah,
We literally do. Like
would
we'll get on Zoom and we're like, so what are we gonna talk about? And then
those are
we'll look for what's currently happening and we just
those are
talk.
the those are sometimes the best episodes. And really, I do like who we're gonna talk about today,
Hmm.
and what it has to do with talking kind of a little bit about Beardo. If you don't know him, he's actually I've grown to like him because he has a really good attitude towards the paranormal. But we need people like him,
Hmm.
and there are a lot of people like him, and we're going to talk about what is now the debunking community, which is kind of new to me. I
Well, it
always
is,
just
but it's not
it,
because we'll touch on that.
right. So that'll be fun to talk about. I think it's interesting and it's needed very much to kind of keep the paranormal field in check.
Yeah,
We don't have checks and balances, and
it's definitely
it's
needed.
kind of it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. So if you don't know who
So
Beardo is a YouTuber based out of the UK, Wales, if I'm not mistaken.
I
Um,
think it's yeah.
and his channel is it's paranormal based. Hey, I know he used to do a lot of gaming on his channel or whatever, and it's pretty much turned into whatever he wants to talk about. But it's very paranormal centric. It's centered around anything and all things paranormal. And at first, I'll be completely honest, when I first, because Tracy and I started watching his channel, when I first saw him, I was like, man, this dude is a jerk. Like he was just very angry. But his channel is Beardo Get Scared. And I guess that's from his gaming or something. I'm not really sure how he got the get scared part, or maybe just because of the paranormal. But his YouTube channel is Beardo Get Scared. And like I said, Tracy and I started watching him. I think she put him on one day, or she stumbled across him, and she was like, "Hey, watch this guy." And I thought he was a jerk, like just ripping people apart. And then after a couple of videos, I'm like, he makes a lot of sense. Like he's not necessarily a jerk. I guess he could rub people the wrong way, and I don't think he cares. It's just he speaks his mind, and if you don't like it, then he was probably talking about you. It's kind of like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like he speaks his
yeah.
mind, he speaks the truth, and if he gets something wrong, he's not ashamed to say, "Hey, I got that wrong." Whatever, whatever. And he's called out the Cody and Satori, he's called out Ghost Hunters, he's called out all of your favorite YouTube paranormal
Every
teams.
yeah. If they exist on YouTube or TV, he's probably picked them apart.
Yeah. And he gives
And
credit where it's due, which,
mhm.
I appreciate.
Yeah, no, I think it's great, and he's really erupted this whole, and I guess we can get into it now. This whole debunking community that
Hmm.
he is a part of, um, has kind of erupted. Now it's always been there. I
Hmm.
can think about being on, YouTube back in the day, watching things and people picking things apart. So that debunking genre's been there. It seems to have exploded more recently, getting a little more steam. I don't know. And I think it's also because there's the rise of the big YouTube paranormal sensations over the last 4 or 5 years. Sam and Colby,
Oh my
um,
gosh,
all
Twin
these,
Paranormal, et cetera, et cetera.
Haunt Me. Can we put them? I mean, they're
Yeah,
not as big, but I'll throw in Haunt Me because
yeah,
they have put out a good product in the past.
yeah, I like Haunt Me.
YouTube Nuke's top five. These things are exploding. So you have the opposite, you know, happening as well. The people out there to debunk, and they're more outspoken, more so now. And Beardo is a very good um, version of that because I wouldn't say he's polite about it, but he's not
He's not
personally
impolite.
attacking. Right.
Right.
He's not attacking people. He's just pointing things out. And that's exactly how it should be. If anything that we've ever done as Kappa, I want people to pick it apart.
Hmm.
Um, the more people pick it apart and try to debunk things,
The better.
the more right. Pick everything we do apart. I pick everything I see on TV apart. I pick everything I see posted in Facebook groups apart. Uh,
I pick
things that
everything
are
that we do apart. I pick
everything that
everything
we
that,
do. Mm.
yeah, everything. Because when we go into an investigation, we'll send each other, hey, when we were in such and such location, this was Corey and I. No one else was in the room. Uh, we'll send, you know, each other the files. Like, tell me what you think this could be, or what do you think this is? And then Corey might say, "Oh, that was me clearing my throat," where it sound like, you know, somebody says hello or someone saying like a sentence. Like, "Oh,
Right.
okay, you're 100% sure?" Yep, definitely. I was clearing my throat then. I know. I remember that. All right, cool.
And
Or
even if
vice
even
versa.
right, 100%. And that's how every team should be. Case closed.
Yep.
People can do things differently. Every team does things differently. They have a step-by-step process that's different during investigations. But if you're not doing your best to debunk the things that you find, you're wasting your time. I'm just gonna flat out say that
Yeah.
it's not worth it's not credible,
Yeah.
and that's where a lot of these people online now come in where everybody from Sam and Colby with the millions of views to us in the hundreds or less of views. Their stuff's online
Mhm.
and it's there to be scrutinized. And that's when you have Beardo kind of come into the picture, and he talked about Cody and Satori,
Yeah.
and he talked about ghost hunters.
Yeah.
And that video actually got the attention of Jason Hawes.
Yeah.
And Jason Hawes did a reaction video
Yeah.
of which we have talked about in a past episode.
Right. And
And
before the reaction video, Jason actually reached out to Beardo, and Beardo, through a mutual friend, and Kenny Biddle was like, "Hey, is this actually Jason messaging me, or is this somebody pretending to be him, or whatever, whatever?" And he was like, "Oh no, that's actually Jason." And Beardo gave him the permission to use his video. Gave him, like, you know, all the heads up, like, "Hey, I use copyright music, and you know, here's the steps you need to take to be able to use the video or whatever, blah 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 blah." And so he was like, "Go ahead, do what you got to do, you know, whatever, whatever."
and Jason, I think, had a really nice reaction video to it, very sincere.
Hmm.
And then they did a live stream on very very recently,
Right.
which caused some controversy for some silly reasons.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
because soon as
even
the live stream started, like, I remember Tracy and I were watching it when it was happening, and like someone commented right in the first like few minutes and said, "This is BS. I'm out." And a lot of people like was like, "Oh, you're a sellout. You sold out, and you should be ripping Jason apart or whatever." And it, I think what a lot of people like, I was talking to Tracy about this earlier. I think a lot of people don't understand, and Beardo on his level, I think he only has like 35,000 subscribers. I may be wrong, but
yeah,
I
it's
want to
right
say it's like,
around there.
yeah. So he's not like a big name YouTuber. I mean, he's got more than us, but you know, he's kind of considered a uh public figure. You know, he has a platform, and he might not realize that to the degree that he is, you know, he understands that he has a platform. He understands that thousands of people watch his videos daily. He understands that. But I think a lot of people, just the watchers, the viewing audience or whatever, his viewing audience, he even states that a lot of his people are disbelievers. Like, they don't believe in the paranormal. They watch his stuff for the debunking, for his ripping apart and stuff like that or whatever. The what someone may call negative, and he's not necessarily being negative. He's just calling it as he sees it. But these people like controversy. People like toxicity for some reason. People like the drama. And
Mhm.
what I think happened is, from the part you were talking about, where Beardo and Jason kind of had this conversation and Jason made this reaction, they talked off camera, which they have every right to do. They talked off camera, hashed out their differences, and said, "Hey, you know, so and so, such and such, I said such and such, such and such. This is what I believe, and this is what I believe." And they're just adults, and they came to this agree to disagree mindset. And through it, they developed a friendship. They put aside their differences and remained professional, remained mutual and kind of respectful to each other because they both showed each other respect, which we 100% support. Um, and I think as the viewing audience, the majority of the viewing audience, and sorry guys for my video, I will get that sorted out very soon. For the majority of the viewing audience, the people that were talking crap in his comments, basically unsubscribing and yada yada yada, I think that they felt some sort of entitlement to see this unfold, and they wanted to see all the stuff get hashed out on camera, and it wasn't their place to see that. That was between him and Jason. Yeah, Beardo made videos about Cody and Satori. He made videos about ghost hunters. He made videos about tons of people. And I would imagine that if these tons of people were to reach out personally to Beardo or to any of these debunkers on YouTube that have made videos about them and were respectful to them, it would go the same way if they are adults and they're, respectful and professional about what they're doing. It would be the same way. So I think it was great to see Beardo and Jason in a live stream together for a couple of hours and just talking. Like, it was a good talk. It was just two people that were, you know, like I said, agreeing to disagree, but still able to have conversations with each other on a friendly level because they have developed a friendship. You don't have to agree with each other to have a friendship. I mean, me and Corey disagree all the time, but we're still friends. Um, so I think that it was a big step in the paranormal, in this part of the paranormal field to see, because you had all this Cody and Satori nonsense. You had all this Sam and Kobe, Twin Paranormal, Omar, all these people that are getting called and called out left and right about faking paranormal content, and they're just getting called out in these videos by these debunkers, by Beardo, Mythos, Mr. Gray. There's a whole list of them, and it's like people are it's like in an uproar about people feeling entitled to see more and more drama. Like, I think people like Beardo, there needs to be more. There needs to be more people that are going to call out BS when they see it. So as far as like the live stream, I think it was really good. I think they had a really good conversation. I love to see it, and I hope they do it again.
I uh I actually thought it was interesting because Beardo had talked about that you know Jason had encouraged him if Cody and Satori did another video where he saw something that was off, make another video about it. If you
Yeah,
saw something in a video that I post, call it out.
yeah,
I think I respect Jason for that.
yeah.
Truly, I have a lot of because he's like, hey, I think it shines him in a different light in my book. And I almost like this version of Jason better than the Ghost Hunters version of Jason.
It kind
And
of lets
I'm
you
not sure if that
see
makes
the behind the true him.
right. And this, his YouTube exposure now, you're seeing more of who Jason is, and not just what he's portrayed as on a TV show. And
Yeah,
it's nice.
yeah.
Um, I hope and they also did the top, they did the Mount Rushmore
Yeah, I was about to
of
say, that was another part that was
which
that. had a lot of
which
controversy.
of course, the second you say Yvette Fielding, and listen, I've said it on this channel, and I'll say it again: Most Haunted is entertaining. It's got great. I wouldn't say as much now, but earlier seasons had a night this production value that I really liked how they shot it, and it was just I was a well produced show.
Yeah, it had high
One of the
production quality.
Right, and it was just a good show, and Vet was a good shoot. She was a good presenter, and Derek Akora. I mean, entertaining. Everyone knows Derek. Was a very entertaining. Whether he was real or not, who knows? But entertaining nonetheless. So I think he put three: Jason, Yvette Fielding, and he keeps saying Zach Baggins. Is it Bagans or Baggins?
I don't know.
I keep hearing different things. And and
Yeah,
and what I guess, and what I didn't even realize was he's going off of popularity,
right.
which is
It's accurate.
I
And
can agree if
yeah,
you want to put, yeah, and
yeah,
I'd put more on there. I think he has, I'd put Jason is on there, and Mount Rushmore would have to be a little larger,
it
because
would.
I
But if
think
you,
Grant has to go in there, or maybe Jason and
right,
Grant are just they're still tied at the hip, general, but um,
right,
because if the Mount Rushmore was for actual paranormal investigators, you'd have maybe uh
it's
John
very
Zaff. I
small.
like John Zaff.
I'll say it's a very
It
small
is
Mount
small. I don't
Rushmore
even.
because yeah, because if you were to ask me that, like who you would put on an actual like legitimacy level Mount Rushmore, my list would be within my team of people that I can trust. Like people that are on
Well,
TV, they're
that's
on TV, like
well.
can't
I,
really
I
trust
would
them as
put.
far as I
Oh
can
God, I
throw them.
I can't remember his name, but he wrote the first book on parapsychology. Um.
Uh, Hans Holzer? No,
Yes.
no,
Thank
him,
you.
him, no,
Yeah. I mean, he's got to be there, but he's like the granddaddy of paranormal investigators.
yeah,
So he's there, and a lot of people throw the Warrens there, but I'm not putting the Warrens there.
no.
Um,
Well,
as
and
much as
I would put the Warrens like
I'm not even
Lorraine
gonna say I
on
like them. I don't know them.
that same Mount Rushmore that Beardo. Wow, sorry, Beardo. I know you watched the show. The
I'm
same
sure,
Mount
I'm sure he
Rushmore
does.
that Beardo built, yeah, of as far as popularity goes, he didn't
Yeah,
add the
popular.
Warrens, but
You could
you
put them up there.
could definitely put Lorraine at
Yeah.
least, I think her name in the general uh public is probably
Oh,
more popular than Ed, but you could put the
yeah, I
Warrens.
think so. Yeah,
Most people
and
know Lorraine
especially,
more
especially now in the last decade of
with the
the
Conjuring
Conjuring
movies. Yeah.
universe, and people know the Warrens.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, I
you
agree
know,
with his Mount Rushmore because it was based on popularity. It wasn't who he was
mhm.
saying that was legit and who he trusts with his life to say something is legit or anything. It
Oh,
was
I
just
think
based
he
on
would. He
popularity, and
he he.
you can make several Mount Rushmores based on the paranormal field, and they would be difficult to kind of build. Like you could do one on, who pushed the field further. And again, I believe the Warrens would still be up there as far as who pushed the field
Push
forward.
the field. They did
Um,
push the field.
I would
Uh,
even
you,
put Zach on that because he is a household name, you know. Uh, Jason and Grant, you
they're on
definitely,
that.
um,
Yeah, I would say there's people that push the field from behind the scenes,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I meant like as
to
far
but
as
but if you're
making
talking
it a
about like
household name,
right,
not actually did the
um,
research to push the field forward. Like,
right,
not
and they
saying that
did,
they didn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they did. I mean, I wouldn't honestly. I'm gonna just come out and say Ghost Adventures and that no.
Mm-mm.
You made a TV show and made a documentary, but like Jason Grant, they were a team.
Yeah, they were a legit
long
team. Well,
before.
an actual team. Like, yeah, I mean,
Right.
I don't know them personally
So
enough to say they were a legit team. I do believe I put more faith in Ghost Hunters or Taps as a team versus other TV show teams. I'll
yeah,
put it like that.
we know that taps existed before ghost hunters.
Right,
Put it that way.
right.
So
And go ahead.
they did do research and investigate and put a lot of time into the field before it ever became a lucrative business opportunity
Yeah,
for them. And they've said, ghosts, they never would have dreamed that it would have become what it is.
yeah. They didn't even want to be on TV, so I mean, that kind of says
Yeah.
something for them. But I was gonna say you could probably even make an argument. I don't know how far the argument would go, but you could even make an argument that Ghost Adventures in the very beginning were more factual driven than they
Oh
are
yeah.
now. Definitely more than they are
That
now.
that show is completely changed. If you look at the
Yeah.
first season of that show, it's a well put together show. I don't, still don't know. I'm not saying it's a real
Yeah.
authentic show, but the show at least has more facts. Now you have running around screaming about demons.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all it is,
And I'm
and
not
and
saying
that,
that in the beginning that everything you saw like on the first couple seasons of Ghost Hunters was legit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they were more authentic then than they are now. I'm not saying that they were authentic then, if that makes sense. Like you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. Like they weren't
yeah,
trying to go over the top back then.
yeah. We're now everything
Is a demon.
seems to be, yeah, every single thing's
He
a
has
demon.
EVP sessions with Satan on a daily basis.
He has his phone number. They text.
Yeah. He
You
just
know,
calls him up and says, "Hey, we're going on an investigation tomorrow night." And he's there. He's basically an
sent.
honorary member.
I mean, that's what a lot of TV has.
So I'm guessing
Oh,
now that we've said all of that, Zach will never be on the show.
oh no!
But
I was really hoping he'd be
yeah.
the next guest.
But yeah, I, yeah, the Mount Rushmore thing did cause a lot of controversy for Beardo on that live stream, but I think it was just a lot of people not understanding what he was saying, like what he was
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to say, and making that big of an argument over that because he was pretty clear in what he said, like as far as popularity go, he even like said it a couple of times. Popularity, not because a couple of those people he can't stand, you know.
right.
And he said, just like that, he was like, not that they're legit, just saying, as far as popularity goes, these people are popular, the most popular. And you could even say that list could change now in the YouTube era because you could put Sam and Kobe on that Mount Rushmore. You could put Twin Paranormal because that's people before our generation, like the younger people, they might not remember Grant Wilson. They might not know Jason Hawes. They might know Ghost Hunters, but they're like, oh, the guy from Ghost Hunters. They might know Zach,
Yeah,
but
I
the
mean, it's
YouTube
very true. They're
generation
getting
is definitely Twin Paranormal and Sam and Kobe.
they're getting their paranormal content much differently than we did growing up.
Yeah,
I remember walking into school. Ghost Hunters aired on a Wednesday night, and going home on going to school Thursday and going, God, did you see that episode? Did you see what they got that EVP?
yeah,
And it's now it's completely different. You got Project Fear. That's another one.
yeah,
Um, Once again, not sure the legitimacy of any of it,
right. But
but
we started talking about at the beginning about the debunker community and um there I feel like this community it's not a bad thing for the paranormal community because I think that each team should be trying to debunk, because to me that's part of investigating. When we go into a location, and we've said this countless times on the show, when us as Kappa goes into an investigation, we go in to disprove claims. We go in, not that we think our clients are lying to us, but we go in to find the logical explanation. We go in as skeptics first, and we try to find every little reason why this place is not haunted. Because I feel like if you go in looking for the paranormal, you're going to find it in every nook and cranny. You're going to find it in every single thing. The wind blows the wrong way. Oh my God, that was an EVP. That was a disembodied voice. That was a footstep. No, that was a furnace. That was the walls creaking. That was the floor creaking. That was a bird outside. That was a tree outside. That was a car door. That was several different things that could sound like a ghost. And 9 times out of 10,
Hell,
it's not. Hmm?
I mean, with that 360 mic, you can hear a bird fart 5 miles away. So,
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
I think that every team should have that, and every team should have a strong debunking member, or if not members,
I think,
and
yeah, I think every team
has
member
to
should,
have it. It's a key member.
yeah, and every team member has to have. Maybe they're not great at debunking. Maybe they can't come up with, oh, what's causing it, but they have to be skeptical, have the skeptical mind. Not, you know, nothing
Yeah.
is paranormal until proven that it isn't normal.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Um, that's and that's why I honestly think this whole rise of the debunking community, I hope there's more. I hope it gets
Yeah.
huge because
Right.
it's great for the field because the more people want to call out BS, the more they have the possibility of changing the type of paranormal content that we see.
Yeah. I
People could, you know,
I was gonna say a couple episodes, Corey and I were talking about a YouTube channel that we had saw, and we were talking about, the type of content they were putting out. And I feel like this debunking community, because we're not, like YouTube debunkers or whatever. And I'm not saying that in a negative light. Um, but we're we're debunkers as far as our own team goes. And we I want to see these channels that are reacting to these other channels and saying, hey, no, that's BS. No, you're not seeing anything. No, that was pareidoia. No, that was clearly you lying. So I
right.
think that that's definitely needs to
I
happen more in the
I'd
future.
love some debunkers to get on that video you're talking about.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe I should send that to Beardo. Like, hey,
oh,
watch this.
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Because he's hilarious. If you have not went and
Yeah, he is.
subscribed to Beardo Gets Scared, I'll put his link in the show notes and in the description down below. Go give him a subscribe. Um, he's definitely worth it. I think his content is great. He calls out the BS or whatever. Um, but yeah, I would love to see him watch that and just go, yeah, call them out, because I feel like they are. I'm not going to go too much into that team or whatever, but I feel like they're a little big for their britches.
Yeah, yeah. That's one way to put it.
So, do you have anything to close out with?
Not much. Just remember that you can always reach out to us at into the paranormal pod at gmail.com. Remember, you can send us stories, anything like that you'd like us to read on the program. Um, so you can do that. You can always find me on my socials, Corey Beam. You'll see my face. It's not hard. Um,
He
and
has a
it
soft
really
face.
isn't. Um,
That I know from experience.
and if remember, these will now be on the Kappa um YouTube. They were also anyone that likes Into the Paranormal on Facebook, go over, like the Coastal Atlantic Paranormal Association on Facebook. Keep up with the new uploads that way as well. We'll kind of integrate so we don't have five different things going on. And hopefully soon we'll have more to tell you about future events. Kappa has a pretty busy private investigation schedule coming up, but hopefully some more libraries and fun stuff. Spooky season it's already June. Spooky
Oh
season
man.
ain't far away,
Yeah.
So our
Can't
favorite
wait.
time of year. So I'm sure we'll be busy. Um, yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
So what
And
about
if
you, Kevin? I'm sure you got some.
I was just gonna say, if you haven't already, we haven't mentioned it in a while, but head over to our Discord. You'll find the link to it on the Kappa Paranormal page. Join the community. Join in the conversation. Link up with us. Keep up with us, what we got going on, and all that fun stuff. More like-minded individuals. I want to make it a community of paranormal enthusiasts. You never know who might pop in and spark up conversations or whatever. Just hop in, shake a hand, make a friend, all that fun stuff. But other than that, you can find me across all things at Kappa Paranormal. Like Corey said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell on the Kappa YouTube channel. We have a lot of stuff that we are working on now. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Um, so be on the lookout for more news as far as that goes. And as always, I have been Kevin Leonard. That has been Corey Bean. And this has been Into the Paranormal.
Take care, guys.